I feel a little more like an adult today. Like, I don't have a hoodie on. I have a scarf and a shirt, and I have on fake nails. Like, I look a little more put together. So, um, thank you for coming back to check out another video. I am so excited to film this. I absolutely love Pan That Palette. I didn't think I would like it as much as I did, but the last 6 months panning that Lorac Mega Pro 4, it was just so much fun to see all of that pan and that progress, in like one palette. So firstly, I need to say thank you because I did put out a video like help me decide pan that palette 2020, and you guys were so very helpful with like your responses and your comments, and a lot of you brought up some really good points, and I loved having all of the feedback. So one thing that I took from that video was that a lot of people really wanted like the baby pan that palette with like random shades. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't know if I'm like super in love with that Makeup Forever palette. Like, yes, I picked the shades myself, but as far as like panning it, like I don't know. So I essentially decided like, let's just do pan those eyeshadows as like its own thing, and then we'll do pan that palette also in 2020. So I did try to do like pan those eyeshadows when I first started my channel, and it didn't work out. I like the way that I've structured it now, and I think that I will be successful with that as well as pan that palette. So this is pan that palette though. We're not going to talk about pan those eyeshadows anymore. So I took everyone's like comments and things like that into consideration, and at the end of the day, it was kind of like, what do I do? There's just some hard choices because a lot of people really wanted to see the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. And I, these past 6 months in doing the Lorac Mega Pro 4, I really was pulled out of my comfort zone with like blues and silvers and colors like that I just never wore. But I am not ready for that Urban Decay palette. I'm just not. Like, I look at it and it would be fun, and I can look at it and I can think of like some combinations that I would do with it, but ultimately at the end of the day, I think that I would just get so frustrated with it because it would be so intimidating. So one comment that sticks out the most to me is Erin, bless her. She commented and she something like, this isn't probably what you want to hear, but you should pan what makes you happy. And that's all I could hear in my head for like however long after, I posted that, she commented that, like, that's all I could hear. And it is true. That is really like my whole motto with panning is I don't like hate panning. It to me is like when something just absolutely does not make you happy. Like it's terrible, and you just I feel like that ruins it. That ruins the fun of this. That ruins the fun of makeup. So I really think that there would be a point where I would be like hate panning that Urban Decay palette, and then would I associate that with like pan that palette and then I stopped doing that series? Like, I don't know, but I don't want to like explore that option. So the Born to Run palette will be, I mean, it's still in my collection. It's not going anywhere. I do enjoy like certain shades from it, so it could be featured in like my pan those eyeshadows. So then I sat back and I looked at the other palettes that I had, and I really thought about it, and there were a lot of things that like went into this decision, and a lot of things that I learned from the first pan that palette I did. So one thing that I learned was I really enjoyed having that huge palette because it was endless. Like, I didn't once get bored of it because I had so many different shades and a variety of things to like do with them all. So I really, I think bigger palettes are kind of a way to go with this, at least for me. Like, this is not for everyone. This is just for me. I did enjoy that. And then I know that like the ones that are left, they're all neutral palettes, and that might not be as exciting to like watch, but I really do want to pan a neutral palette because since I'm doing pan those eyeshadows, like I think the two would play nicely together if I had a neutral palette, and then I could use them in conjunction with each other and still like make progress on everything, and then it's still like good fun videos to watch. So with that being said, I'm sure you can guess which palette we are going to pan for 2020, but It is the Lorac Mega Pro 1. Also, like a third reason to do this is that these palettes are huge. Like they're the size of your face, you know? And yeah, they're not like the biggest. They're not like a desk palette, you know, like those really huge like Morphe palettes. But they are still pretty big. They're slim and they are fairly travel friendly, but it would just be nice to roll these out of my collection because it is 32 shades, you know, things like that. So that's another reason. But we will open it up and I will show you where we are starting out with it. So here it is at the very beginning of its life. So you can see there's already been 3 shades removed. Espresso, which was like a matte dark brown that was just patchy and I didn't like it. Gray, which was, I really wanted to love gray, but it wasn't a shade that played well with like my skin tone. And then black was just a matte black shade, so obviously pop that out. Moving forward though, in 2020, I'm not going to just pop out shades like, oh, don't like it, popping it out. I'm going to first try to franken it with another shadow within my collection to make it workable and wearable and not just be like wasteful. However, if I franken it and it still doesn't work out, at that point then I can decide like, okay, do I try to franken it again or do I just get rid of it? But at least we tried, you know, the first time around. So I have used this palette like a handful of times, but once I came to the decision that this would be like my Pan That palette for 2020, I like laid off and haven't touched it since I guess like I think I used it once in November, so that's the last time I like picked this up, because then, you know, I put out, like I got together all the palettes I was considering in December, and so I didn't touch any of them. And then when I like really thought about it and picked this one, didn't touch it. So it is December 29th right now. I will not start using this until the 1st of January, which is when hopefully this video will go up. And then, so we'll do monthly updates just like we did before, and you can expect them to be around the 1st of the month. So I don't really want to set any goals this month because I really just want to take the month of January to like play around with it and really figure out like 1 or 2 go-to looks, because I have discovered that that is me. I like to pan a look and then move on to a different look and, you know, do it that way as opposed to like, well, I don't know what the opposition to that would be, but that's just me. So the shades I'm really interested in really going hardcore on are Opal, which already has a bit of a dip on it. It's one of my favorite shades. It's like it's white, but then it has like a gold shift to it. I don't know how well you'll be able to pick that up on camera. It looks more white, but when you blend it out, you can definitely see like the gold to it. Maybe you're getting that effect. I don't know. But it is really pretty. It's one of my favorites. And I just kind of like dug my whole hand into deep teal. Can never do this right. I'm so not professional. And then I'm really interested to start playing around with cashmere. It just looks like this great, like, kind of light champagne color almost. Not really that much different from Opal, except for that it doesn't have the gold shift to it. It's not probably going to show up all that well. Like, here's Opal and then here's cashmere. Yeah, you can kind of see it. But yeah, so I'm really excited to play with those two. The shades that scare me the most within this palette, I'm sure you can guess, it would be Indigo right here, which is like a matte with purple craft glitter, and then Caviar, which is a black that has like silvery glitter in it, and then Deep Teal, which Deep Teal is like this interesting, I don't even know how to describe this shade, like kind of like it's like almost black green to me. I don't know. If you guys have any ideas on like how to use this, like please let me know, because that one honestly is probably going to get frankened with like maybe some loose glitters that I have. I don't know. I don't know yet. But yeah, another reason I wanted to choose this palette was because in doing the Mega Pro 4, what I found was that I had way more crease shades than I did lid shades. And I don't know if that will be true for this palette. but there were a lot of the like shimmer metallic shades in my Pro 4 that I ended up using in my crease or like my outer V or things like that, because they weren't that impactful as like a shimmer shade. So I'm anticipating that with this one. And so that was another reason to pick it, was because if it does end up being more crease shades than lid shades, then it will definitely go well with Pan those eyeshadows. So yeah, I'm just really excited to start this, and I do think that this is a good all year palette, because you know, I only did the Lorac Mega Pro 4 for 6 months, and so I really wanted to pick something that I thought could carry me through like the entire year. And so I think that there's a good mix of like nice warm browns for like summer, and there's, you know, pinks and purples in here for like spring, and then, you know, there's some darker versions of like those browns and pinks and purples that would be great for like fall and winter. So yeah, I'm just really excited. I hope you guys are too, and I just appreciate you guys, and I cannot wait to update you at the beginning of February for this. But until then, I will catch you guys in the next video, and I hope that you are having a good time doing whatever it is that you're doing. Okay, bye.